Here's my hot take, Caleb. You put Prime Connor against Prime Ilya. I think Ilya sleeps him in the second round.
Ooh.
Hands down. I think slipping out of his hand.
Catch.
It's slipping out of his hand as
This team looks like they have the capabilities to make a dent in the playoffs.
and gets his belt back. I think he is the greatest flyweight of all time. To me, that was not Spurs basketball. It looked horrendous. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. I am your host, Tony2Beers. I am joined here with the Sterns, man. What's going on, Caleb?
How's it going? Doing it again.
Another day in the virtual studio here. We have interesting stuff that's happened over the past week. The big thing that happened literally the day after we recorded was Lebron James signing to the Philadelphia 76ers. He is going to be back on the Eastern Front of the NBA, pairing himself with Jaylen Brown, The Process, and Joel Embiid, of EJ Edgecombe, their new rookie sophomore this year. The Philadelphia is looking nice for LeBron James.
Yeah, man. I remember hearing about it and I was like, honestly, that could be a problem in the East. I mean, we saw how well Philadelphia did this past season in the postseason when they made it all the way to the semifinals, I think, where they ended up going up against New York and lost, right?
Yeah, I believe they got
If I remember correctly.
swept. Let me see.
I can't honestly remember.
I think they got swept in the damn, I keep burping.
I think they got swept in the second round.
Yes, because they worked so hard to, let's see, conference finals. Yeah, because they went to 7 against the Celtics and they got swept by New York, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like LeBron could be that piece, that leadership, the facilitator that they need, because the Sixers do have some of those guys in Tyrese Maxey, but he's still kind of young and doesn't have that experience. And from what I've heard, they're going to be bringing in LeBron in as a point guard.
Really?
So that could be something very interesting to play into this coming season for the 76ers.
Yes, for sure. Just LeBron James, I mean, he's widely regarded as the best player to ever play the game. He's been to the NBA Finals 10 times. That's basically half his career. He's a 4-6 record in the NBA Finals, but he knows what it takes to get there. And I think adding that piece to this Philly team, like you said, they went 7 games against Boston Celtics. They took them and they beat them, one of the best teams in the East last year, in the number 2 seed. Yep. As a 7th seed, they beat them. They go up against New York, they lay an egg. But I think it's just that lack of leadership. Also, you know, I feel like LeBron. All you hear is countless stories about how he's a good teammate, how he's this and that. That leadership that maybe they don't have on that Philly team. Adding LeBron with all those young guys, that's something they need that, you know, could push them over the limit and get to the NBA Finals. I'm not picking them. I think it's too early to pick. I don't want to make any picks just yet. But adding him is a huge piece for this Philly team. They made it that far already without, you know, I mean, which that squad they have now. You have him, you add LeBron, I mean, and Jaylen Brown too. You can't forget about that. Jaylen Brown and LeBron are going to be in this team. So, you know,
that's a dynamic forward.
Yeah, Tyrese Maxey,
duo
like
right
you
there.
said.
That's pretty crazy.
Joel Embiid,
Tyrese Maxey and VJ with Brown and LeBron at the forwards with Embiid at the center. That's a pretty nasty 5 right there.
I think the key for that Philly team is to stay healthy. If they can stay healthy the entire season, then they can be a problem in the postseason. It's just those injuries that can slow them down.
Let's also see who's on their bench, because now I'm curious. Because that's another thing that comes to my mind. Yes, injuries, but also how deep is that bench right now? Because they also gave up quite a few pieces.
Yes, they did.
During the offseason as well.
So they added Dean Wade. They
did add, which is a big defense.
Yeah.
That's a big defense.
Condavious Caldwell-Pope also
Dean
went
Wade.
to...
They got Anthony Simmons. But like a bunch of these other guys, I mean, they just signed Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
Yeah.
Who played with LeBron with the fucking Lakers. But like some of these other names, like Dominic Barlow is the former Spurs center or small forward, whatever you want to call him. But like there's a bunch of these other guys, Caleb Love, Justin Edwards, Jabari Walker. Like they're names that I'm not too familiar with. So that's another concern of mine. This starting five, like I'm looking on Google right now, the first five names are massive. Dean Wade, okay, possibly sixth man. Anthony Simmons, also possible sixth man. But then you look at the rest of the squad, and it's like, who the hell are these guys?
Yeah. What you see is the front of the. It's like you're just seeing the cereal box cover, and you're not eating the actual cereal. You know what I mean? They just
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jalen Brown, LeBron James, Joel Embiid. That's a solid starting five. But like you said, the backups is what the
Yeah.
depth of the team is also something to be considered. Because if one of those guys goes down,
Mhm.
that's a big problem. That's a big
I
problem.
mean,
Joel Embiid.
I don't
Jaylen
see
Brown.
Dean Wade completely replacing Joel Embiid
Absolutely not.
if Joel Embiid were to get injured. You know what I
Right.
mean? And he's known for being injured.
Former MVP, but yeah, if he gets hurt, nobody on that roster can replicate what Joel Embiid can do for that team, or LeBron James. You know, Jalen Brown. These guys they have. It just takes one fall. If one of them falls, it's scary for Philly for sure.
Also, too, the head coach for the Sixers right now is Nick Nurse, who has a
Yeah.
championship with Toronto.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So, I mean, that Toronto team had Kawhi. Also, one of the deeper benches in the league at the time, back in 2018, right? 2018,
Yeah.
2019?
2019, yeah.
I believe that was one of the deeper benches in the league at that time. It's really hard to tell this early on how well this team's going to do, but it's like you said, you're looking at the front of the cereal box, not really eating the cereal. It doesn't have much depth to it. It looks good on the outside, but then when you really look into the deep parts of it, it's like, okay, I could see where this can crumble fast.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Right. Yeah. You kind of saw it with the Spurs. You know, that's what happened to us. And then as far as their I mean, you take off Victor Wembanyama off the floor and you have Luke Cornett there, you know, and he's again, that's the type of player that's not going to replicate what Victor Wembanyama does. And it showed in the postseason. The regular season, he was great, but for some reason, he just folded in the postseason. And you got to imagine if they get deep in the playoffs, second round conference finals, if these backups are going to fold. So it is good,
Definitely
though.
possible.
It's good for Philly. They had those are huge names to add to your roster. It's gonna, but what's testament is, like you said, that the depth of the team and injuries. That's what cost was it worth? You know, getting Jalen Brown and LeBron James. And I'll tell you right now, LeBron's not playing 48 minutes, bro. That guy's
absolutely
42
not.
years. He's almost the same age. You know what I mean? Like, he's old. He's not going to be playing 48 minutes. Maybe one night he'll do that, like if they make it far in the postseason, but he's not playing 48 minutes a night, dude. I don't think Joel Embiid either with his injury history. Jalen Brown, maybe. I forget how long he's been in the league. He's still kind of new, so he's a young guy.
He still gets pretty injury prone, though, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He was injured for a little
injured
bit.
too. So it's
Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe are probably the two front runners for this offense.
Yeah.
As far as pace goes and things like that.
Yeah. For sure. We'll see, man. We'll see how they come out swinging when the season starts. I do want to bring up, though, because of this trade, there's a lot of trade talk. I'm sure you've seen it already. It was brought up, I think, by Bill Simmons, but it was a potential trade to get Steph Curry to the San Antonio Spurs to pair him with Victor Wembanyama. Have you seen those stories around?
So I have seen, apparently the front office of the Golden State Warriors and Steph aren't apparently seeing eye to eye because Steph really wants to focus on building on the team that they currently have, whereas the front office just wants to try to sign big names, but they're failing at it. They did just recently re-sign Draymond, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. If there is even any like bad blood going on between Steph and the front office, which to be honest, to me, I don't really see. I always thought that was like a Kobe Laker, Duncan Spurs, Nowitzki Mavs type of relationship. Like, you know, he was going to be one of those loyal guys that no one had seen in a long time, where they just stick to one team for their whole career. I have seen a little bit of the trade talks of like not just him coming to the Spurs, but also him like possibly going to Philly or like fucking going to Miami to join Giannis and all that. So I've seen a little bit of trade talks. I don't really necessarily believe any of it, to be honest with you, though. I feel like they're gonna end up patching things up if there is some type of bad blood, and they'll try to make something work. Because I know Curry wants to stay in Golden State. I have not seen him show any interest in wanting to go anywhere else.
Yeah, I agree with you that there's all these talks, and it's the crazy thing about the internet, right? Social media. Bill Simmons, like I said, was the one who I believe made the first statement. He just said, if you could imagine, you know what I mean? He just kind of drew up a scenario. Nothing was ever said that this trade is going into effect. But as soon as he said that, you saw it everywhere, all over the pages. I think Basketball Forever, the biggest Facebook page or Instagram, Facebook, social media's page for basketball, they made a little like paragraph thing about what could possibly happen. But yeah, I think you're right about Steph Curry. I don't think he doesn't want to leave. He wants to find a resolution and show the loyalty that he has for the city, Golden State. The Golden State Warriors organization, because they've treated him well. I mean, he's the best shooter of all time. They've treated him. He's won them how many chips? 4, right?
4 now. Yeah.
So it's like without him, they're not even in the same breath as some of these other franchises. You could have, you have Clay, you have Draymond, but those guys aren't. Without them, even with KD, I'll go as far as saying when you get KD, Clay, and Draymond, without Steph, you don't get those chips. Maybe you can get one with KD, but all 4, that was credit to Steph, man. So I would, as much as I would like that to happen, it's also kind of not worth it. You know,
you'd also have to think what they give up in order to get him.
Yeah.
Like, you have to package either Castle or Harper. One of the two. With KJ and maybe a couple of those first round picks that we got.
Yeah, I think that's what he said. He said just all those, like, just give all those picks, because I think we have first round picks all the way up to 2030, 2031 or something
like that.
So he would give up, I don't know, and those guys, Steph, Vic, Dalen Harper, Carter Bryant, all those guys off the table. That they shouldn't even be on the offering table. All the picks and maybe, a Devin Vassell and a Keldon Johnson or something. Because you're trading away your future. This is what we said when we threw out those LeBron theories or those LeBron scenarios. You're trading away your future for a 38, soon to be 39-year-old Steph Curry, who was once the best player on the planet, regarded by many as the greatest shooter of all time. But is he that right now in this moment in his career? His 3-point percentage has dropped over the years. It's not as perfect as it once was. He's not an automatic green light anymore, dude. So I just, and people are going to say that's crazy to say, but I mean, Father Time is undefeated, dude. You're going into the last years of your NBA career. Is it worth trading away the future of your franchise? I don't think it is. I really don't. And as much as I would love to have Steph, if they were to get away with something like maybe 2 picks and a Devin Vassell, okay, that might be worth thinking about. But giving away all your first round picks till 2030 and Devin Vassell and KJ or something, absolutely not, dude. That's not worth it at all.
I think I saw something where it was like a type of trade scenario where Steph would be coming to San Antonio with a like future second round pick, and then we would send them KJ and I think Vassell with like 2 or 3 first round picks.
Interesting.
So like my thing is it depends on who we give up, because we're obviously going to have to get rid of some of those picks for him.
Right.
But it's also strategic in who we give them, because we can't give too big of a piece of our entire game. KJ lacked off a little bit. Vassell still has some growing room. I feel like KJ's probably that better bargaining chip. As much as I hate to say it, because he's 6th man of the year, one of the most tenured Spurs on our roster right now. But like, just the way that he played in that finals and the way he didn't show up at all throughout the playoffs, except for like maybe 1 or 2 spurts here and there, I feel like he's probably the biggest bargaining chip that we have, because he still has room to develop, and he can end up being like one of those guys where we give to another team and he ends up winning a championship over somewhere else on another team.
Yeah, we saw it happen with Derek White,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's crazy. It's all hypotheticals for sure. And like we said, I don't believe Steph Curry wants out of Golden State. I think he's gonna do.
Nah.
They're gonna work together as hard as they can to find some kind of resolution if there is any kind of headbutting going on between him and the front office. Because yeah, he's loyal to his franchise, I think, and he wants to stay there. Unlike some of these other guys, But and I'm hoping we'll see another superstar do that in Victor Wembanyama. Like, I hope he doesn't want to go anywhere if the chips fall and everything starts falling apart here, which usually does not happen, knock on wood. But if it was to happen, and I just hope he would stay. A lot of these kids, they want to win chips, which I get, but to ring chase is just kind of, I don't know. I that's the one thing I don't like about this NBA today. You see these guys just, they leave every time. LeBron is accredited to that. I mean, he went from Cleveland to Miami, and went back to Cleveland, then went to LA, and then now he's in Philly. It's just he could have gone to wherever he wanted, really. But now Giannis is in Miami. There's so many moves going all over the place. Jaylen Brown leaves Boston, comes to Philly. It's just like the loyalties in the teams is not there anymore, and it kind of sucks, because you see these superstars, and it's kind of like flipping a coin when their contract is up. Are they going to stay? Are they not going to stay? Kevin Durant, another one, left OKC, goes to Golden State after they beat them. Then he goes where? He goes to Houston and then Brooklyn, right? Or no, he went to Brooklyn.
No, then he went to Brooklyn. Then he went to Phoenix.
Phoenix, and then now he's in Houston.
Then Houston.
But same thing, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, they're just everywhere, There's just and there's a lot that goes on too. It's not just them, the players themselves. It's just you don't see it anymore in the NBA. You don't see these long tenured players like the Tim Duncans, Manus, Tony Parkers. Yeah, they had a great system. They had a great hand that was drawn for them with the greatest coach of all time, and Greg Popovich. But even before that, Michael Jordan stayed with Chicago. Yeah, he went to Washington. But you got players that stay with their teams throughout their entire careers until the end. They past their prime or whatever. But you had John Stockton too. John Stockton, one of the best point guards in some can make a case that he was the best point guard in NBA history. Stayed with the Utah Jazz his entire career. Never won anything. So I don't know. It's just a rant that I needed to spill out. That's what makes it hard to watch today's NBA.
No, I understand. I get you completely.
But in other news, we had
hit me with it.
It has to do with the Dallas Cowboys. And it doesn't have to do with training camp right now. Training camp is going well, apparently. They are doing good. I saw a throw from Dak to George Pickens. It was a clean catch, ran all the way to the end zone, which is good and alarming at the same time because our defense has supposedly stepped up, and it made it look very easy against Dak. But this is going to be one of the best offenses in the league, top 3. Some could say top 2 offense in the league. So maybe not as alarming, but it is alarming considering how atrocious that defense was last year. But anyway, we'll get into that later. It has to do with the former Dallas Cowboys quarterback in Tony Romo. Did you see what happened to him?
Oh my God! Yes, I did see this.
Oh my God!
Dude, pulled a fucking Tiger Woods.
He straight up pulled a Tiger Woods. He was booked for OWI, operating while intoxicated. I think it's different wherever he was. I got to look up exactly where he was. But did you see some of the videos of the body cam footage and stuff?
The only thing I did, so to be honest with you, I stopped watching it maybe 30 seconds into it. But the only thing I saw was when the cop was they wanted to have him do a field sobriety test. And immediately he was like, I'm going to call my lawyer.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I saw. Other than that, I mean, I saw him a little bit trying to do the sobriety test where he was walking and he just looked completely terrible. But yeah, I saw a little bit here and there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Wisconsin. He was pulled over in Wisconsin. Former NFL quarterback and CBS Sports Analysis, Tony Romo, was pulled over southbound on Interstate 43 near downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He was stopped at the Marquette interchange. But yeah, I saw that too, where he was getting pulled over. And did you see him stretching? He was stretching before he did his sobriety test.
No, that's fucking funny though.
He was like, yeah,
that's great.
I've had a couple back surgeries. That'll do it to you. But it's so crazy because you're watching him and you're hearing his voice. That's like the CBS that's the CBS color commentator. It's just crazy.
That's so funny.
That was the former Dallas Cowboys quarterback. To this day, I'll die on this hill. I think Tony Romo. You put him on these offenses today, they go to a Super Bowl. I'm not saying they win, but they can go to a Super Bowl, NFC Championship at least, because he was the man, dude. Tony Romo was the man. He leads the Dallas Cowboys quarterbacks in franchise records in several things. We'll get to that if anybody wants to fact check it, but we'll get to that later because, it was apparently he had an open bottle in his car, is what the sheriffs that arrested him say. But people are going around saying that cops didn't do what they were supposed to do, apparently. So from what I read, again, I'm not an attorney, and we're in Texas. It's not Wisconsin, but apparently if you say you're trying to call your attorney, that they're supposed to allow you to do that. We'll look it up. But they just made him get out of the car and do all this other shit instead of allowing him to do it. Let's see if I can find exactly where that was, but yeah, and apparently he told the deputy he had 0 drinks during the traffic stop.
Yeah, I did hear that part.
Yeah, it's kind of wild because he looks. Look, I play a lot of golf. All right, I'm not very good. That's not what I'm trying to say. But if I'm not, that's what he said. He just got done playing golf. Brother, you go to a golf course. He's a retired NFL quarterback, makes a lot of money. He drank some drinks at that golf course. There's no doubt about it. You know what I mean? Whether he drank a lot in excess or he drank a few, there was alcohol consumed for sure. And you could you could see it. You know what I mean? Like, you can kind of see it. And the thing about when athletes get arrested, they have like a certain aura about them. I don't want to say cockiness, but it's kind of like, it's like in, you've seen The Longest Yard, right?
Yes.
Remember when he gets pulled over? That's like how the movie starts or whatever, and he's kind of just like the cop's like, "Oh my God, it's Paul Crewe," or whatever.
Yeah,
and I think that's some of these athletes. Maybe that's how they think. Like you saw Tiger Woods when Tiger Woods got pulled over the most recent time, and the body cam footage. He's walking past he's on the phone with somebody, and he walks past the body cam footage person looking at his phone. Walks past the cop, and the cop says something, and Tiger's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was just on the phone with the president," and just keeps walking. The president, brother? You were talking to Donald J. Trump while you're getting arrested?
Oh, my God,
you know what I mean? They
bro.
have this, that aura, I don't want to say that they think they're untouchable, but it's kind of like they have that aura, that swagger where it's like, oh, I'm gonna get off this. Like, nothing's gonna happen. And that's how that's the vibe I got from this footage from Tony Romo. And it's tough because you like to think he's a good guy. He was a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. They don't really tolerate a bunch of BS unless it's the 90s. But they if he had a bad rep or a bad rap, I don't think they would have left him there. I don't think they would have had him as the quarterback as long as he was. And then he goes and works for CBS, and now he's arrested. And yeah, those tests, it says they ran through 12 minutes. He looks as red as a cherry, bro, in some of these pictures. So
yeah, no, he definitely was flushed for sure.
Yeah, and again, it's not like maybe he drank in excess, maybe he didn't, but I think something was drank. Something was drank. A good time was had on that golf course.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that offseason, though, back to the Cowboys. I'm sorry, the offseason, their training camp seems to be going pretty well. He's been going pretty well. Schottenheimer was talking to the media today or yesterday, I can't remember, talking about how they're very optimistic that everything that these players have, the moves they made, it was a great offseason, this and that. And I think I would have to agree with them. The moves they made this offseason to beef up their D-line, picking up Caleb Downs, they made some strong moves. Now, the only thing is, we can sit here and say, yes, they're going to be this. Yes, they're going to do that. Like, you look at they have Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, Rashad Gary, Demarion Overshown, D. Winters, Kobe Durant, Jalen Thompson, Malik Hooker, Deron Bland is questionable, Caleb Downs. Like, that's a good turnaround for defense. I think D. Winters is a little slept on, but Kobe Durant also came over here. And not to mention the offense. I mean, the offense, like I said, is going to be one of the best offenses in the league. Top 3, top 2 for sure. They have Dak Prescott at QB, Javonte Williams, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Ryan Flournoy, who's beating out Jonathan Mingo and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Jake Ferguson, Hunter Lipke at fullback, Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, and Terrence Steele. Potentially best offense. They say themselves, I think it was Dak, CeeDee, and George Pickens, they say that they have the best offense in the league right now. Now, like I said, all this sounds well and good, but when it comes to game time, is everybody going to show up? We have a brand new defensive coordinator, first year as at the helm, calling the defense. First year, he came from Philly. He was their secondary coach, I believe. So they had a good secondary, you know. The Philly had a good. I think y'all took one of them. What's his name? Reed Blankenship. I think y'all have him in Houston now.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows what to do as far as that. That was our big problem, is that secondary. If he can address the secondary and turn it into a better top 10, top 15 secondary, maybe not top 15. That's a little pushing it, but top 10 secondary in the league, then I think we have a chance to. I keep saying making it to the NFC Championship, but the more and more I read the moves they made and seeing the training camp and seeing the coaching staff look a little bit more confident than they did last year, I mean, they could potentially be Super Bowl contenders. And with that, maybe that saying that means making it to the NFC Championship, being one of the last 4 teams in the season, you know, past the playoffs, past the wild card. So I don't know, man. I think they have, only time will tell. You know, like I said, once the season starts, we can see what this Dallas Cowboys team is about. But yeah, it should be good.
Well, no, I agree with you. I definitely think though it's going to be a test to see how they do. You know, like all these other teams are beefing up as well. As much as we can say this team is stacking up, this team is stacking up, every team is stacking up, every team is trying to get better than what it was last year. So, I mean, obviously the Cowboys stepped up their defense. Dak is also looking just as good as he did the past couple seasons where he was on that MVP ride for a little bit. But I don't know, man. It's really hard to put faith in the Cowboys just because of the fact, like, if it's not one thing, it's another piece that's going to go wrong. Like last year, the offense was good, but the defense is wrong. Well, who isn't to say that, yeah, both offense and defense can go well, but let's say there's something that happens within the coaching. Like, there could be anything that could go wrong with any team. I'm not just talking about the Cowboys specifically, but it really comes down to how the season is going to unfold. I really think that's what it boils down to at the end of it.
Absolutely. And yeah, a lot of teams are beefing. Like I mentioned it, that Houston, the Texans, I mean, the best defense in the league last year, they added another key piece in Reed Blankenship. So that's a scary. That's what I was going to say about this Dallas Cowboys offense when they themselves said they think they have the best offense in the league. You can make a case. You can kind of agree that, yeah, hey, we have the best offense in the league. Who's going to stop these guys? But the only guys that you can think of are the Houston Texans, best defense in the league. Denver Broncos had a top defense as well last year. I don't think they're playing Denver this year, but Seattle too. Yeah, Seattle. They're playing Seattle. They are also the reigning defending Super Bowl champs. They lost their running back, but they still have a good team, you know. And that's what, like you said, that's when we're gonna see what happens when the season finally unfolds. If they can compete with the best teams, and they did last year. You saw it. Without a defense, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. They were down. This is the thing that irks me, dude. Like people like my father, or my uncle too, that Dak has no long ball. Go back and watch the game. I tell them, go back and watch the game last year when we played Philly. They were down 21-0. They scored 24 unanswered points against that Philly team. And Dak was throwing bombs that entire game. Again, it also coincides with people say he can't perform under pressure. I'm sorry, being down 21-0 against your arch nemesis team, coming back and winning that game, that showed me 2 things. 1, that he can throw a long ball, and 2, he can perform under pressure. It's just he doesn't play defense, bro. I'm telling you right now, I've said this several times already, maybe on the podcast, I can't remember. Dak Prescott is going to be in the MVP conversations next year. He's going to throw for over 40,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and in the MVP conversation, as long as he stays healthy. If he gets hurt, obviously, he's out of that conversation. But I think he's the guy. He's in his physical prime. He's going to play, I think, some of the best football of his career this upcoming season. And a good time to do it because the schedule is pretty fucking tough if you've seen it, which we have.
No, yeah, we went over it. It is a pretty tough schedule. It's all going to boil down to all the pieces working together in their own respective role. The offense, the defense, the special teams, the coaching, the decision making. It's all going to come down to the nitty-gritty details of every little aspect of the game. And if the coach messes up a play call, or if Dak makes a mistake, or the defense lets the opposing offense get on a run, like any one of those things could really mess up their entire season just in one game.
Yeah, absolutely, because but it's a long season, so we'll see. That first week they play the Giants. The Giants also, like we said, a lot of other teams are beefing up. The Giants have their running back coming back,
one of the better coaches in the league now,
and that coach too. Jackson Dart is an absolute animal too. Malik Neighbors, I want to say, is going to be healthy come game time. So that's another offense in the NFC that they have a good little. They pushed up some defense as well. Let's look at their depth chart real quick, because if I'm not mistaken, they made some additions as well. You know, they have the Juju Smith-Schuster there, Malik Neighbors obviously
Giants?
there. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Darius Slayton. They have their running back coming back, Cam Scatterbo, Jackson Dart. They have Jameis Winston in the backup. That's the leader you need in the locker room. You know, the addition of the new coach, Hardberger too. So and I think that'll be a good test for both teams going head to head, NFC East rivals on Sunday night primetime football. A good test to see what they are made of. The new additions for the Giants, the new additions for the Dallas Cowboys, how they're going to perform. It's a good predecessor for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
because right after the Giants, they are going to take on blah 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 blah. Let's see, come back down here. After the Giants, okay, well, they take on the Commanders at their home opener the next week. It's the Baltimore Ravens and the Houston Texans the following 2 weeks. So those two,
yeah.
After that, you look at they open the season, easy schedule. I don't want to say easy. I don't want to say easy, but it's compared to what I'm about to read you, easy. Giants, Commanders, followed by the Ravens, Texans, Buccaneers, Packers, Eagles, Cardinals, Colts, Niners. All the way into November, tough opponents. That there is going to tell you, like you said, when the season unfolds, who the Dallas Cowboys are that year. But I like to look at the other team in Texas, the Houston Texans. I haven't seen.
Respectfully,
Did you see your quarterback in all white walk into the training camp? Bro,
I think I saw something about it.
He was walking all like, I don't know, bro, for lack of better words, nerdish. I mean, I'm a nerd. I'm fucking on a fucking computer talking about podcasts, talking about football, wearing glasses. I'm really a nerd, but I don't play football at the highest level. He gets paid millions, but it just looked kind of nerdy the way he was walking, and all white. And I saw he was all like kind of like, I don't know. It just looked funny, and somebody quoted it and posted it. That damn, throwing 4 interceptions last year in the postseason took away all this man's aura.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that's fucking funny.
It's gone, bro. It's gone. But I think they're doing good too. I haven't looked at their training camp.
I'm gonna look it up here once we get off here. I want to see how that's going.
Yeah, they opened it here. Injury. Okay, so apparently Tank Dell is following his
Tank Dell's back.
Schedule. I don't think he's in there, but yeah, he's back. That's huge though. I think y'all need him.
Mm-hmm.
You need him to compete for sure. I haven't seen any. It's just like tone setting. Day 1 of the 26 change camps in the books. Practice feeling. Oh, it's right here at the news. It's a story. Okay.
There's apparently someone who got carted off.
Oh fuck! Already, bro. God, that sucks, man. That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
During the training camp. So, oof, Aroni, but
that sucks. Never like to see that. I think this Saturday is when everybody is going to be out there as well. Wherever they're at, they're in California or something right now. At least Dallas is. Yeah. But it's interesting. I mean, it's good. I mean, I didn't realize the Hall of Fame game is next week. First NFL game in months, bro.
Oh wow, is it really?
It's the Cardinals taking on the Panthers.
That'll be fun.
Right? Yeah. The Panthers, next Thursday, August 6th, 2026 at 8 p.m. 7 p.m. here. But, yeah, we'll see how that unfolds. Those damn Cardinals. I'm sure it's going to be just, regular preseason game that they always do. Not really anything crazy. It's just exciting for the
Yeah.
fans. We haven't seen NFL in
Yeah.
God knows how long. And you got to think
Everyone
too
just
when
wants to see football.
yeah, when they air it, it's for the commentators too. It's a preseason for the commentators because we all know that famous call from the Cincinnati Bengals guy kicking a field goal, and the guy goes, "You got to like when there's a guy coming right in your face and just delivers it real well."
Oh,
You can
wow.
clearly tell that guy was not a profession. I mean, in what setting is that even a? Why would you even say that?
That's wild.
We're
That is wild.
deep in the off season, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we're talking about right now.
Deep.
This is like the worst
Very
time
deep.
for sports. I mean, yeah, they got MLB going on. I guess we could talk about that since we're doing our weenie challenge on Sunday. How are the Astros and how are the Rangers doing right now? Let's see here. They're the top two teams in their respected division, American League West. The Rangers are 55 and 54. The Astros are 55 and 55.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that the Astros had caught up that much. We were down towards the bottom of our division for the longest time.
I'd seen that. Yeah, I saw that. That's going to be interesting. They play this weekend, or they started, I think, tomorrow. Their little streak.
Well, we did just win the series. I can't remember who we played against. I think it was either the Angels or someone, but we just beat them. Their last game that we played them, it was 7-2, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Yeah. They're playing. They start tomorrow against the Astros. Astros Rangers series is tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, all in Houston. It's not Minute Maid Park no more, right? They changed it.
It's called Daikin Park now.
Daikin.
It's the new company over there in Houston, apparently.
How do you spell that?
Daiken.
Okay. How do you say it again? Am I Daikin?
Daikin. Yeah.
Daikin.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right. Yeah.
What a time, Houston. What a time. What a name. But yeah, we're doing those winning challenges, so that'll be cool. Yeah, the Astros and them are doing pretty good. I want to check how the champs are. Yeah, they're doing good. They're doing really well. Holy shit, they're doing really good.
The Dodgers, yeah, they're the best team in the league right now, 68 and 40.
So they have the potential to do something that a team has not done in North American sports since Kobe and Shaq's Lakers in the early 2000s. They have a chance to three-peat in an American league. I just want to say the USA, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. When I say America, I know there's South America, North America, whatever. But in the United States, MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL, MLS, nobody has three-peated since the Kobe and Shaq era in Los Angeles. The Dodgers are back-to-back World Series champs. And if they're the best team in the league right now, they're doing really well. Yeah, 68 and 40. You know, who's to say that they don't do it, you know? That's an interesting story right there, ladies and gentlemen. Once the postseason comes around, which should be very soon, if I'm not mistaken, right? Isn't it like in 2 months, a month or two? They play a shit ton of games, so I always forget. But that's something interesting to follow, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. If the Dodgers are able to three-peat, that edges them for one of the best teams in American sports in history to three-peat. Nobody does that. The Chiefs almost did it, but they got absolutely steamrolled by the Eagles that one year. Was it 2 years ago? Last year? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah, Seattle just won.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that would be, something to keep an eye on, ladies and gentlemen. The Dodgers.
I mean, there's still a good few games left in the series. There's also a couple teams that are right on the tail of the Dodgers that I'm keeping my eyes on as well, like the Brewers. Milwaukee's 67 and 41 right now, so they're only one game behind the Dodgers. So that could be a potential National League championship mashup.
Yeah. I see. Yeah.
67, 41. So that, and then you also don't want to count out some of these other teams. Like Atlanta's kind of a sneaky team. The Cubs are a sneaky team. D-backs, Phillies, all those guys are sneaky teams. And then in the American League as well, Sox are coming up. Both Red and White Sox are coming up. And then the Guardians are starting to look like a good team as well. But like you still see the Rangers and the Astros are still kind of sitting in the middle of the pack. So it's you really got to see how these last few games come out with the last few series coming towards the end of the season. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out these last few months.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we will be doing our Hot Ones challenge as well. I'm sorry, Hot Ones challenge.
Mm,
Whoops. We will be doing our hot dog 9 beers,
our weenies.
9 innings, 9 weenies challenge on Sunday. This Sunday, by the time you hear this tomorrow, it will be live at twitch.tv/TonyTwoBeers. We'll also record it and make sure we save it so you can watch it later on just for shits and giggles. We will have a special guest as well. We'll make sure we get plenty of clips for that. I want to talk a little bit about the UFC before we close out. We'll close out a little bit early here. Anthony Smith, did you see what happened to him?
No, what happened?
He's the UFC fighter, Anthony Smith.
I know who that is.
He was arrested for allegedly trying to run over his wife. I didn't know that. I just thought it was domestic.
What?
Yeah, apparently he's facing 3 charges, 3 felonies, potentially. Ex-UFC, yeah. Apparently, I thought he. So what I read was he threatened to kill his wife if she refused to leave the bar or the restaurant with him. That just happened over the weekend, like a day, 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
What the shit?
38 years old, 3 felony charges is huge, man. It kind of is rough, you know. I was just telling this to Ashley downstairs that. These UFC, and you just saw it with Dustin Poirier. He got all drunk and he was going to fight those airport people. And he said it. He went on Apollo. He addressed it and talked about how it was on Father's Day. He was thinking about his dad and what he went through and this and that. And he said that he decided to drink and he really shouldn't be drinking when his mind is in that place. But it kind of sucks. Like these fighters, bro. And I've thankfully never had to go through that life, the fighter's life. But every story you hear, it's kind of like the same whistle and bell that they had a rough upbringing of some sort. They had some kind of trauma, and they have some kind of mental history, you know, or instability. And fighting is what saved them from kill. Like Sean Strickland has said it many times. You know, he would be in jail or dead if it wasn't for MMA, if it wasn't for fighting. These guys, you know, they play their whole life out, and the fighting, the UFC. Not even just the UFC, just MMA in general. The fighting has saved them from so many things they could have done. You know, these guys are trained killers, for lack of better words. You know, they could do whatever they want to somebody. And once they're out of the game, I can't imagine how hard it is to just transition into normal society, being a civilian. You know, like I can only imagine like all those traumas, everything comes back, those triggers that you had. So I'm not saying what he did is right. I'm not saying go threaten your wife because you have trauma. But what I'm saying is maybe the UFC should take more care of their ex-fighters. I know it's not their position to do that, but I mean, after they retire, what are they doing? You know, you add them to your panels, they get to speak about fights that are coming up. You know, they're in the pre-fight, post-fight press conferences, all that stuff, or shows, I should say, not press conferences, but you know, like what is the UFC doing for them after they leave? Because that's already 2 accounts, almost in the same month, that UFC fighters have turned violent, you know, and Dustin Poirier and Anthony Smith. So it's tough, man, to see that. It's hard.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, and it's the same thing. Like, I don't know if you had mentioned it earlier, but like with the football players, like on that movie Concussion with Will Smith, you know, a lot of that. Of the NFL players who ended up like retiring, ended up dealing with a lot of mental issues because of all the brutal hits that they would take their years in the league. So, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if him fighting in MMA may have caused some mental damage to where, you know, he ended up going that route mentally. I don't know, but it is a very scary thing to think about, and I do think that it needs to be paid closer attention to.
Yeah, because not even, it's a good point. Not even just MMA, but football, any one of these sports where you just take random hits. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like in 10, 15 years down the road. These guys that are doing power slap, that are just getting hit in the face voluntarily. I can't even imagine what those stories are going to be like in maybe 5 years, 5 to 10 years. You know, after these guys are done doing that, they're getting slapped. Just volunteering to get your head smacked around. It's absolutely insane to me. But yeah, I wish this guy the best, Anthony Smith. That I hope it's something that could be addressed. Maybe I don't know. It just sucks because I thought he was a good analyst on the panels and stuff after he retired. And,
I mean, I enjoyed him as a fighter too.
yeah, and a fighter. Yeah. It's he fought John Jones, didn't he? Didn't he fight for the belt?
I think so.
Let me quote myself here or check myself here.
He is definitely one of those guys who's fought in like top names.
Yeah, he won in UFC 235, March 2nd, 2019, for the UFC light heavyweight belt.
Yep.
That's tough. And it went to decision. He didn't even get knocked out. Yeah, he did. He fought Gustafsson, Alexander Gustafsson, Glover Teixeira. He lost to Teixeira. He fought Ankalaev. Lost to Ankalaev. Lost to Johnny Walker. This is towards the end of he's the 2020s, though. Khalil Roundtree, Dominic Reyes. So, it's, it's tough, man. He fought Rashad Evans. He beat Rashad Evans. He beat Shogun Rua. So, I mean, that's big in itself right there, He could have.
Yeah.
Just fighting for the belt alone is also big. So, but man, hopefully it's something. Hopefully more stuff comes out to see what happened. I'm not saying like he's wrong or he was right for doing what he did, but what was in his head? What was going on in his headspace? Was he drunk? Was he same thing with Dustin Poirier? Was he just wasn't in the right mindset, and maybe you shouldn't be drinking. But yeah, that's there, ladies and gentlemen. The UFC right now, I think Ankalaev just won over the weekend in Abu Dhabi. This past weekend, he fought. Let me see exactly what he fought. If I can just fucking find the main card. Okay, it's over here. Bogdan Guskov. He looks like Anthony Smith. Jesus Christ, I forgot about that. But it was in Abu Dhabi. A lot of these other fighters, unfortunately, I do not know. I haven't not very well kept up with. But when they do Abu Dhabi events, they're always these other fighters that they can't really come to the U.S. to fight. So Dana White gives them the opportunity to fight over there. But yeah, he won in the 5th round TKO, Magomed Ankalaev. So he's going to want to come for the belt. Something real quick I want to touch on this before we end. Just this last thing to go out with. I saw Carlos. No, I'm sorry, not Carlos Pratas. Fucking the juice guy. He has a special juice. Your best, Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa.
Oh yeah.
In an interview, he was talking about because he's now at light heavyweight. He won his light heavyweight belt, or he won his light heavyweight fight, and I think he's in top 15. I think he's ranked after winning that fight. But he made a good point because right now the light heavyweight champ is Carlos Ulberg. He won when he got that. He fucking knocked out Yuri Prohaska when he was being humble, and fucking just knocked him the fuck out. Like he had that, bro. He popped his Achilles, I think, and then everybody was like, "Oh, the fight's over," and then boom, Carlos Ulberg knocks him the fuck out. Yuri Prohaska. That was his belt. That was his fucking belt. So now Paulo Costa's there saying like, who he's gonna hold the belt up for however long. Who is gonna be marked for the interim belt? Like somebody, they have Alex Pereira still ranked at number 1. He's a light heavyweight, but he said he's staying at heavyweight, so he's not gonna be there. Ankalaev just won. Yuri Prohaska lost. Paulo Costa won. Then you have Jamal Hill at 5, Khalil Roundtree at 6, Dominic Reyes at 7, and then the others are just down there. Robert Whittaker is climbing as well. He just won his fight, number 11. So who are you gonna book? I
still can't believe Whittaker's still fighting.
Yeah, I know. Who are you going to book for an interim belt? Because he's going to be out for a while, Carlos Ulberg. He's going to hold up that division for a while. And I'm not saying he's a bad fighter because, he knocked somebody out with the fucking... Yuri had his hands down, whatever. But to do that, Conor McGregor didn't do that, you know what I mean? It takes a special kind of athlete to do that. And,
it does.
And, so Paulo Costa made a good point. And maybe Dana's going to work on getting an interim belt fight going between... And now that Ankalaev won... Maybe between Paulo Costa and Ankalaev for the interim belt. Because
that would be a good one.
Basically, that ranking is flawed because Alex Pereira is not coming down to light heavyweight. At least that's what he said. He's not going to come back and fight. He's staying at heavyweight. So really, the number 1 contender is Ankalaev. Number 1 followed by Yuri at 2 and then Paulo Costa at 3. Yuri just lost. I don't think he deserves an interim belt chance. I think you go Ankalaev, Paulo Costa, and there we go. That's your interim belt fight right there, and obviously whoever wins that will take on Carlos Ulberg to unite
that
those two belts.
Like a fun one.
Oh yeah, and Robert Whittaker's up there somewhere.
And Robert Whittaker's up there.
Yeah, he climbs. He's gonna fight somebody else big, maybe like a Jamal Hill, Khalil Roundtree, and then jump the rankings again. And
that would be fun.
He just has to win,
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us here at the 2-minute warning. We are going to end it a little bit early today. We want to thank each and every single one of y'all for following us and listening to the podcast every week in and week out. We are on Instagram at the bottom left of your screen, at underscore the 2 Minute Warning on YouTube as well, the 2 Minute Warning, and on TikTok, the 2 Minute Warning. Where the podcast is, it's on YouTube and on Spotify at the 2 Minute Warning, trying to reach our follower goal, which is above me, trying to get to 50 followers by the end of the year on Spotify. We're at 21, so help us out, spread the love. You'll see our TikToks all over. Let us, don't be afraid to chat in the comments. Share it with your friends, trying to get us to 50 followers. This Sunday, August 2nd, we are doing our 9 beers, 9 innings, 9 glizzies challenge. So I was trying to say glizzy and inning at the same time. But tune in for that. We're going to be live streaming at twitch.tv/TonyTwoBeers. We will have a special guest. Make sure you tune in for a fun time, for some laughs, watching us consume 9 beers, being absolute degenerates. And we look forward to meeting you all there in the comment section. But other than that, Sterns, you got anything for the people?
I'm just looking at guzzling down some glizzies. Yeah, I said that.
Hell yeah, brother.
On
Hell
pod.
Yeah. That's what I like to hear. That's what we all like to hear, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
In front of Tiana, too, by the way, just for the record.
Lord have mercy.
I said I'm looking forward to guzzling down some glizzies. Okay, now share me.
Nice.
Anyways.
But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Glizzies all over the place on Sunday. Be there or be square. We thank you all, and we will see y'all on the next one. Peace out.